Hey there, good morning. Welcome to my Achieve Even More show, where I help you strengthen your mindset and your skill set so you achieve your goals and dreams faster and easier than ever before. We are going through this document today around winning the inner and outer game of financial success. So the inner and outer game of financial success. Let me know that you can hear me and see me. Hit the like or the love button as soon as you sign up or join in for my Achieve Even More show. As I mentioned, I see many of you joining right now. We are going through winning the inner and outer game of financial success. Good morning, Odon. Can you hear me okay? I got some new headphones with some really good noise cancellation. And let me know that you can hear me well. Good sound? Good. Hey there, Dave Buford. How are you, buddy? Winning the inner and outer game of financial success. If you can see this, hit the like or the love button. All right, I'm going to go through this with you right now. They look cool, great. There's going to be a little workbook that my team is going to put a link for you down below. How many of you agree that there's an inner game and there's an outer game to success? Obviously, the inner game in the brain, the outer game, stuff that you need to do. Agree, inner game and outer game? By the way, did you notice anything new on my set other than my black shirt today? What's new on the set? And for those of you who have read my best-selling book, Inner Size, The New Science to Unlock Your Brain's Hidden Power, you may have noticed something new on my my little set here. What's new on my set? Can you tell? Many of you know that I talk about the left prefrontal cortex of your brain is the Einstein part of the brain, and the right prefrontal cortex is the Frankenstein part of the brain, the self-critic, the part of your brain that always tells you why you can't, why it's not possible, fear of failure, and all that stuff. All are connected, to the different parts of your brain. And so we want to activate Einstein and we want to quiet Frankenstein. This is the document that I'm going through right now, just so you know. So you're going to see this. If you want a copy of it, there's a link below. I'm going to show you all of this stuff right now, the inner game. And then we're going to get to this. This is going to be fascinating. There's only 6 things that can get in your way. All right. So if you want a copy of this, just click on the link and get it, but I'll be going through it. All right, so if you can hear me and see me, just let me know. You can hear me and see me. Hi there, Cheryl. Hi there, Susie. Hi there, Deb from Alaska. All right, yeah, I got the Frankenstein, got a little Frankenstein painting up there now, just to always remind me that both parts are played. Okay, so let me show you this, and let's get started for my Achieve Even More session today. So the inner and outer game. So whenever we're talking about the inner and outer game, I always focus on mindset. And mindset is a combination of your beliefs, your habits, your emotions, perceptions, and your attitude. Now there's many, many more pieces to mindset, but the key ones are, do you have the right attitude on how you're approaching financial success and life success? And Carol Dweck, in her book, Mindset, talked about a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. And most of you that are on this Achieve Even More training, you have a growth mindset. You're open to change. You're open to learning, discovering. You're open to letting go of what may not be serving you. And you're open to learn and get better and apply, one of my core principles is constant and never-ending improvement. If that's you, hit the like or the love button, all right? Now, the piece that a lot of people misinterpret is perception. And here is where this gets a little bit tricky and why it's really important to retrain your brain. We don't see the world as it is. We only see the world based on the internal map of reality in our brain. So how we became conditioned or wired over 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years is what our brain is actually looking for in the physical world. So for everything that you're looking to achieve, okay, your brain's looking for a match in its, in the in the recesses of your brain, and it's looking for matches for what's already wired and programmed in your brain. So if you aren't achieving a certain financial result, whether it's income or wealth or not having debt or having certain investments, if your brain doesn't have the neural pattern for what that looks like and feels like, what the behaviors are, it deletes and distorts almost all the information required in order to achieve that goal. So perceptions are critical when you're focusing on mindset and changing your perception of what is possible. You first have to create the reality in here, and then your brain starts to see things that match the reality in the physical world. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, hit the like or the love button. And hello, Bill Church, I love you. All right, so does that make sense? We see the patterns in the physical world that match the patterns in our internal world. And then we have emotions, which we're going to talk about in a moment. And there's 6 core emotions, but if you don't understand how to manage the emotion of fear specifically, right? Earlier, for those of you who joined, I talked about the Frankenstein part of the brain. Frankenstein's job in your brain is to become aware of anything that could cause any real danger, any real pain. Frankenstein focuses on making sure that you survive, and Frankenstein talks to you to make you aware, right? Frankenstein talks to you to make you aware of what if this happens, what if that happens, what if you get hurt, what if you lose money, what if you get embarrassed, what if you're ashamed, what if you're ridiculed, what if you're not good enough, what if you're not smart enough. That's that right prefrontal cortex, Frankenstein talking to you, even though Einstein is saying, hey, you can achieve this. Imagine this life. Imagine making more money. Imagine giving more to charity. Imagine, 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 imagine. So Einstein says, imagine, thinks of all the good stuff. And Frankenstein says, what if? What if it doesn't work? What if I fail? Does that make sense? If that makes sense, you're starting to understand a little bit around emotions. Now, habits. If you want a copy of this entire little manual that we're going through today with all of what I'm talking about in here, just get the free download. My team puts together these nice little downloads for you. All right, so if this is making sense, hit the like or the love button, right? So when we talk about habits, some of your habits are constructive, some are destructive, some are empowering you, some are disempowering you, some inspire you, some expire you. Now, understanding habits. Why does the brain develop habits? Or why do you develop habits? And there's a very, very simple answer. Whenever we are putting any effort into thinking, into switching thoughts, into behavior, to stopping one thing and starting something else, we're using up energy, right? The brain's operating system is what? Energy. It uses up 25% of all of your calories. Now, if your brain's hierarchy is for survival first, avoidance of pain second, the third hierarchical mechanism that your brain is focusing on is conservation of energy, just in case you need energy to run away from that saber-toothed tiger. So once your brain says, okay, you're thinking a certain way, you're behaving a certain way, you're achieving certain results, it makes that pattern automatic, so that it goes from conscious effort to a subconscious implicit pattern that runs automatically with very, 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 very little energy. And so when you develop habits, whether you like them or not, whether they're constructive or not, whether they serve you or not, whether you like them or not, your brain doesn't care about that. Your subconscious brain. You might care about it, but your brain doesn't. And so once a habit, thoughts, emotions, feelings, sensations, behavior, results, that habit loop and habit concentration is created in the brain, a neural network, it moves from effort to no effort. No thought, just like it doesn't take you any effort or thought to breathe or to digest your food or to make 10 million cells a second or to grow your nails or your hair or for 9 systems in your body to work synergistically together. So once you have a habit, your brain is going to force you to automatically play in that habit zone. And the key is to understand that first, your habits are something you make, and then Your habits then make you. So if you want to understand more about mindset, you have to understand the science of habits, the trigger, the behavior, and the reward. That's called a habit loop. Every habit has a trigger, something that triggers it. It could be a thought that triggers it. It could be a smell that triggers it. It could be a person, a time that triggers that habit loop. When you wake up in the morning, you're actively in the habit loop already. The way you wake up, what you do first, what you do second, what you do third, what you do fourth. That's a habit loop. And so if you want to get better at winning the inner game of financial success, you have a habit right now of earning a certain amount of income. You have a habit of the behaviors that earn that income. You have a way of thinking and feeling about money that keeps you in that habit loop over and over and over again. So if you want to win the inner and outer game of success, not only do you have to switch your habits, but you have to also understand the next part of what we're going to be talking about in just a moment, right? So your beliefs are the other part of the equation, right? And for those of you who've just joined, is this making sense? If it makes sense, give me 2 or 3 or 4 likes or loves. I'm going to look at your comments. Hi, Naguma. Hi there, Debbie, Abigail. Good morning. Cheryl shared. Yes, thank you for sharing this. Share this, share this, share this. I love when you share. So again, I'm giving you a framework first. I'm going to go deeper into this, okay? So the next part is around beliefs, right? So beliefs. Were you born with any beliefs? There isn't a baby that was born with one belief. Nobody, not one human being. 110 billion people have walked on planet Earth. Not one was born with a belief. And so a belief from a neuroscience perspective is nothing more than a network of cells that connected and got reinforced. And we have 2 types of beliefs. We have explicit and implicit. Explicit are what we call our declarative beliefs, where we can declare, I believe that I can double my income. I believe that I'm good enough. I believe that my product or service or my work is worthy of making 2 or 3 times more money. But if you have an opposing belief or a disempowering belief at the subconscious level, that's called an implicit belief. I am implicit belief. And an implicit belief will override an explicit belief 99.9 times out of 100. You can override an implicit belief, okay, through willpower, persistence, and forcing yourself to take action. But within a day, a week, or a month, your implicit beliefs will override your explicit beliefs, and you will revert back to all your thoughts, emotions, feelings, behaviors that are part of that habit loop. And you will arrive back at what your beliefs say that you are worthy of earning, having, etc. Does that make sense? So when we're talking about the inner game, okay, we're not talking about on the surface. Skip the surface baloney. We're talking about going deeper, okay? If you want to go deeper, that's the work that I think we're pretty good at here at NeuroGym. So your inner game, right, is here. Beliefs, habits, emotions, perceptions, attitude, paradigms. Yes, I saw somebody write paradigms. I think that was, all right. So if you are serious about, doubling or tripling your income or business revenues, you have to focus on these things that are causing your current income right now. And without changing these, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, you just are going to keep repeating the same stuff over and over and over again. And that's why I started NeuroGyms, to go deep. So let's say you've got all of this stuff, right? And by the way, if you like this, please share it. For those of you who just joined, I'm going through this little manual. It's about 10 pages long, around winning the inner and outer game. And so the next part of this document is their strategies and tactics. So how are you going to achieve whatever financial goal you want to achieve? How are you, or who is going to do the work? What do you need to do? Why are you going to achieve it? How specifically, and then when. So these 5 things: who, what, why, how, when. Those are 5 different parts of your brain responsible for getting all this done. However, when you take the time to ask yourself, what is my goal? Okay? What is my goal? Short term, long term, it doesn't matter. What is my goal? And you get clarity, you're activating the occipital lobe, the imagination center of your brain. When you focus on the what, you're activating certain neural circuits in your brain. When you focus on who is going to achieve it or whose help do you need, you're activating a couple more neural circuits of your brain. When you focus on the why must I achieve it? Not why should I buy, but why must I achieve it? Okay, now you're activating the limbic system, the emotional part of your brain. So now you're getting more members of the band together. When you start activating the how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? Now we're activating the Einstein part of your brain, because now we're getting the imagination and the part of our brain that can say, well, I could do this, I could do this, I can do that. And then when you activate when, now we're activating another part of the brain that is time bound and works really, really well with deadlines. So when we're focusing on the inner game, which we just discovered, right? We talked about all of these, the outer game of answering these questions. Now we're engaging our brain, our whole brain, our right brain, our left brain, our prefrontal cortex. We learn through managing of emotions to quiet the right prefrontal cortex, the inner critic, the part of you that's always going to ask, why you can't, or give you the answers to why you can't achieve your goals. And then when you start to focus on the people and create processes, that's where you can create some predictability. Now, I'm curious, would you love to create predictability around how much you're going to earn, how much you're going to save, how much you're going to invest, how much you'll have for retirement, how much you'll have for charity? Wouldn't it be fun to have predictability? I sure hope so. Now, let me go a little bit deeper into what we've just covered, all right? If you like this, hit the like or the love button so I can see that you can hear me and see me, all right? And then I'm going to go through the next 10 or so pages. If you want to follow along, just download it. I'm going to try and get to this fairly quickly, the 6 things that can get in your way. Maybe you can share with me, what do you think one of the 6 things are that can get in your way? The other thing I want to make sure that you understand, the game isn't won or lost at the conscious level, at the awareness level, or the decision-making level. Your conscious mind is responsible for your vision, your goals, your big why, upgrading your knowledge and skills, creating your plan of action, how, who, when, why, etc. 20% of your success is around this stuff. Only 20%. Most people are playing the game here and they're wondering why 80% of the time they're just not winning at the level that they're capable of winning at. It's because they're just not understanding the power of the brain. In my best-selling book, Inner Size, I help people understand the difference between goal setting and goal achieving. And I'm not suggesting you buy it, but if you want to, go ahead. The key is to understand these things here, your subconscious mind, right? So the inner game is 80%. So let me give you an example, okay, of these. And actually, I'm going to go through it. So your subconscious mind is responsible for 80% of the game. I will venture to say that your subconscious mind is actually responsible for 97% of the game. I just decided to give you a little bit of a break and say, okay, for doing all the conscious work, you're going to get some bonus points. Does this make sense? Your body gets in the way, or you're always tired. So Mary says your body doesn't get in the way. You're always tired because you don't know how to activate the cells or the mitochondria and the energy in your cells, Mary. And it has to do with ignorance, not stupidity, ignorance, not knowing. All you are is 100 trillion cells that are energy, Mary. So without the right process and knowledge and skills, you're going to be operating from a place of ignorance. So who can tell what the 6 things are that can get in your way? Let's talk about this. I'm going to give you all of the stuff that can get in your way. Are you ready? So let me just see. Abigail, thank you for writing that down. Cheryl, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So a lack of energy is an effect, Mary, not a cause, right? The only 6 things that can get anyway. Anybody want to give me a guess? Come on, give me a guess. So Jack Heller, good morning, Mr. Jack. Yes, fear is one of them. But let's go to to another one. I'll get into fear in just a moment. Fear, Mr. Church. So let's take a look. And all of these, by the way, are on the document if you wanted. So Strategic barriers. What could be a strategic barrier? You're not taking inspired action. You're taking on too much at once and you're overwhelmed. You're procrastinating, which is directly tied to self-esteem. You're not saying no. You're trying to take on too much. You're focusing too much on the end result and not on the process. You don't stick to a powerful schedule, okay, or ritual. You don't have anyone hold you accountable. There's no real plan. You're winging it too much. So strategic barriers, right? The actual things that you do or don't do is going to get in your way. And so you have to understand what strategic barriers are in your way. That's number one. I want you to think about this one, okay? Let's say you have a goal of doubling your income. All right, let's say you have a goal of doubling your income. Hi, Caroline. Let's say you have a goal of doubling your income. And you see yourself, in your conscious mind, living a better lifestyle, making more money, not having debt, giving to charity, traveling around the world, having fun, buying a nice car, living in a nice home, having nice clothes, whatever the money allows you to do. But what if at a subconscious level, remember, inner game, outer game, all the stuff you want is outer game stuff. All the stuff that helps you get it is inner game stuff. But what if your self-esteem and self-worth doesn't line up with the goals that you want to achieve? What if you feel like you don't deserve to earn a lot of money or grow your business? What if you feel at a subconscious, implicit level that you're not smart enough or not worthy enough, or you're nothing special, or you're not good enough, to grow your business you want, or you're too young or too old, or you're not smart enough to be a coach, or you're too shy? What if your self-image is a mismatch for the goals and dreams that you have? What do you think will win? The subconscious self-image, self-worth, self-esteem, or the conscious goals, dreams, and desires? Just type in the answer, right? So what could it be, right? And that ties directly, okay, into, and again, if you want all these, just click on the free download. And please share this. What if you have disempowering beliefs? What if you have disempowering beliefs? That you don't have the skills, the know-how, that you're too young or too old to do this now, that you're not a good leader or CEO, that you're not good at finances, marketing, sales, that you don't have enough money to grow your business or start one, that you have to do it all. What if you have disempowering beliefs? You're too young, too old, too Asian, too Caucasian. When you have disempowering beliefs, which we already discussed, okay, at the subconscious level, are mismatched with the vision or goals that you want, what do you think is going to win? The disempowering beliefs or the vision and the goals and the why? I'm curious. Which one do you think will win? So somebody says, Rebecca says subconscious will win. Subconscious will win. Now you can override your subconscious, okay, through willpower and sheer grit. But at the subconscious level, if you've had those disempowering reinforced neural networks for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, the subconscious, since it's more automatic, and as part of something called automaticity, easily activated and replicated, then subconscious is going to win. Now, let's say you have some new empowering beliefs, but then you have disempowering habits, where you have poor time management habits. You start and don't complete things. You try to get it perfect versus getting it done. You're too unfocused, you're lacking organization, you're easily distracted, you're taking on too many things, you're doing it all yourself. What if you have disempowering habits? And remember, a habit is nothing more than a loop of thoughts, emotions, feelings, sensations, and behaviors that have become automatic to conserve energy and to keep you in this comfort zone called homeostasis. So what if you fix the beliefs, but you don't fix the habits? Right? So can you see how complex this is? Can you see why I said, 80-20, but it's really 97-3? You've got to get all of these pieces working together like a well-oiled watch or a well-oiled machine or a Swiss watch or a music band, an orchestra working together. But if you have disempowering habits, then you might have to break some, interrupt those patterns, and then create new empowering habits. And in order to do that, you can either work with your brain and how your brain naturally gravitates towards repeating habits and patterns that are easy, and how it takes a little bit of time in order to develop new habits. Now, when we're developing habits, the first skill you want to learn is the skill of awareness of what are my habits? What are my thought habits? What are my emotional habits? What are my behavioral habits? Which ones are empowering? Which ones are not? So write down your habits just today and just be aware of them, because most of us are not aware of the habits. But if you write down your habits and then say, okay, what's triggering this habit? And then how do you break a habit? First, you interrupt the behavior just a little bit. Interrupt the behavior. You aware of the trigger, you interrupt the behavior, you keep the reward. That's called the habit loop interruptive pattern. And in order to do that, start off by interrupting a small habit and replace it with a small disempowering habit, and replace it with a small empowering habit. And I often tell people is the habit is more important than the intensity at first. So if you want to earn more income, what's one little habit that you can interrupt right now? And what's one little habit that you can start right now? So if you want to earn more money, what's one thing that you can interrupt right now? If you want to earn more money, what's one thing that you can start right now, right? Because there are behaviors that help you earn money. There are behaviors that help you save money. There are behaviors that help you invest wisely. And you can start investing with spare change. And so you want to start to develop empowering habits that are constructive and help build your wealth. And you want to release any disempowering habits, okay, that take you away or keep you stuck. All right, does that make sense? So that's disempowering habits. I've got two more. And again, if you want this, my team, I think, has been putting up the links on there. Your stories and excuses, okay? So your stories and excuses is number 5 on the list. I don't have the right tools or resources. I don't have enough time, money, or people. I don't have the college degree, knowledge, or skills. No one will help me. I've got to do it on my own. I live in this location, this location. We all develop stories to reinforce our habits and our comfort zone. Let me repeat, we all develop stories that reinforce our habits and our comfort zone. And so why not create a new story? Why not make a decision today that today is the day I leave my stories and excuses and reasons behind? No more waiting, no more hoping and praying, no more wasting precious time called life. Stop your stories and excuses, okay? And that's as simple as a decision. Does that make sense? Stop your stories and your excuses. They're holding you back. They're helping you waste your life and your time and your genius and your brilliant. If that resonates with you, hit the like or the love button, and then we'll get to the big mother of all. Right? So your fears. So I want to help you understand the neuromechanics of what's going on. Remember earlier, I talked about the Einstein part of your brain creates the vision, the goals, the why, activates the nucleus accumbens and insula in your brain, which releases dopamine, which makes you feel good. You take the time to plan your what, your why, your how, your when, and you do all that stuff. And remember, the brain's hierarchy is avoidance of anything that might kill you, right? So immediate amygdala activation to put your stress hormones on high alert, epinephrine, cortisol, norepinephrine, so you can get out of the way. Or you can freeze, okay, not get hurt. Or you can fight, so fight, flight, freeze. There's also faint, but we won't talk about that. So you've got these systems, circuits turning on or off. So when you set your goals, you have big dreams, you get excited, that's Einstein activated, and it's creating this neural cocktail of positivity and of high-fiving and of sharing it with your friends and releasing dopamine and releasing oxytocin and releasing serotonin, and that's all awesome. But you also have Frankenstein, okay, standing guard to say, hey, what if you fail? What if you're embarrassed? What if you're judged? What if you succeed and then fail? What if you or disappoint yourself again because you've said you want to achieve those goals over and over and over again? And Frankenstein then activates that amygdala, okay, and the amygdala basically says, put the foot on the brakes, okay, let's take the blood away from Mr. Einstein over here, and let's go into a safety mode. Let's go into a rationalization mode where you rationalize why you shouldn't take action, why you shouldn't make those calls, why you shouldn't finish that book, why you shouldn't invest in that course, why you shouldn't, then you should have all over yourself. You got that little inner critic on your shoulder, okay, talking to you negatively. Now, what are you supposed to do? Because Frankenstein's a part of you, Einstein's a part of you, but you don't know how to control Einie and Frankie, right? Well, that's because of ignorance, right? So ignorance just means not knowing. So first and foremost, I want you to be in a state of awareness, right? Without judgment, blame, shame, guilt, or justification. Let me repeat. I want you to be in a state of awareness without judgment, blame, shame, guilt, or justification. Just awareness, and just go, wow, there's so much I don't know about the real inner and outer game of success. You, my friend, are a genius. You are a miracle of creation. The wisdom of the ages is within you, but it's clouded over with years and years and years and years of conditioning and false beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of. And what is critical if you want to achieve more, have more, be more, give more, love more, share more, is you just need to make some adjustments a little bit at a time to understand the outer game of what you need to do, how you need to do it, when you need to do it, why you need to do it. And then you have to recalibrate the inner game so that the inner game matches the outer game, so that you have coherence instead of chaos, so that you have inspired action instead of fear, or inspired action that'll move you towards the goals and dreams that you have. All right, that's it, my dear friends. I hope you enjoyed my Achieve Even More program for the day. If you like this, share it. If you want to leave me a comment, I always read them and I appreciate it. If you want a few more pieces of advice that I give people and share people, on Facebook I have a private free community called Achieve Even More, same name as this little training that I do every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 New York time. Go join me in the Achieve Even More. There's a lot of free stuff in there, all right? I appreciate you. Thanks so much. If you like what I do, please share my work. And if there's anything that you want some additional help with, just type it in. I wish I could hit the like and love button for every one of you, but I'll give you a boom, boom, high five. Have an awesome day. Thank you. See you next week, and I'll see you in the Achieve Even More community if you want to join me there. Bye-bye now. And download the document and read it and see which of those things you can start working on.